So Bionic Dance made a video recently addressing a video that was like a couple of years old. And as much as I'd hate to ride on her showboat, because she did a really good response, I felt that I might as well pitch in as well, since, I don't know, it'd be good to hear from multiple sources and from atheists that might have different views from each other. And it's good to see this particular individual take an open stance when asking these questions. Because, to be quite honest, there are people on both sides who do this. They ask the sort of questions that they expect people to be unable to answer, and when an adequate answer is provided, they either ignore it or dismiss it with some fallacious attempt at telling a person that they're wrong, and walk away with a smug smile on their face and their fingers in their ears. Question 1 was, okay, because you're an atheist, you don't believe in some omnipotent, omniscient, omnibenevolent, omnipresent, whatever God. Do you believe in any other spiritual being? And the answer is, well, if you're referring to things like ghosts or boogeymen or UFOs, me personally, I don't subscribe to any of those beliefs. For the same reason I don't subscribe to the belief in some all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving God. And that is because there has been no physical evidence to suggest that this is true. Now, as much as my detractors might disagree with me here because they seem to think I have an ulterior motive, that's all there is to it. So the question that comes next is, can you still believe in ghosts, UFOs, etc., and still be an atheist? Yes, you can. An atheist is simply a person that does not believe in any god or gods. The next question asks what my thoughts are on mythology, whatever, being Roman, Greek, etc. So I like mythology. I was a big mythology kid when I studied it briefly in grade 11 English and grade 12 English. I find it very fascinating that people's morals, ideas, values were so different back then than they are now, and how we've evolved to the point where it's almost unrecognizable what we were 2,000 years ago or so. Having said that, though, this should always be taken as mythology. It should not be used as an allegory for real-life morality. It should not be used as an example to set yourself, because this is fiction. And as wonderful as it might sound to someone, I don't think that it's very healthy to base yourself on a fictional character, even if it might be a benevolent one. Question 4 asks, what are my thoughts on mythical creatures, i.e. unicorns, fairies, etc.? Yeah, I don't believe they exist either, since there's no physical evidence to suggest that they do. Question 5 asks, if I don't believe in heaven or hell, what do I think happens when people die? And, well, when people die, their memories still stay with us, even though their bodies are no longer with us. They rot in the ground and nourish the earth for life to begin once more. That's all there is to it. That's all we know, at any rate. And as scary as it is that I don't know anything beyond that, as scary as it is that essentially no one knows anything beyond that with absolute certainty, or even a slight amount of certainty, to me, that's part of the fun of living. Now, I don't think it would be correct of you to say that we stop existing in any sense, because we always exist. We always have, and we always will. The matter that essentially is us, the various proteins and lipids and water and other trace elements, doesn't just disappear as soon as you die. It just goes into the earth, gets broken down by various natural processes, and essentially nourishes other forms of life. Now, if you're wondering what happens to our soul or our spirit, or what I will refer to as our consciousness, that pretty much ends, I think, because the consciousness is tied to the brain, and this has been physically proven. So I don't think it's actually possible for us to realize that we're dead when the time comes, because the brain essentially stops receiving electrical signals from the rest of the body, and because the brain's not working, our consciousness fades. So Question number 6 is, when did I decide to become an atheist and how did it happen? And I made a whole video on this, but I became an atheist when I was around 12 or 13, and that was when I actually took a good look in the Bible, because I was a Christian, or at least someone that subscribed to Christian beliefs. And I took a good look, and I did not like what I saw. It did not match up to what I was told in church, and I've asked essentially everyone, even God himself, why he was depicted as such an evil monster. Did I get an answer? No, I did not. I was told to just follow my beliefs, have faith. Essentially, I was told not to think. I was told not to question, and that really disturbed me. And as I did more research, that was what led me to become an atheist, or at least revert back to becoming an atheist. I assure you, that transition wasn't easy. And it did not just happen in the blink of an eye. It did not happen overnight. It happened over a good period of like 3 months for me. Of questioning, being afraid to question because I was afraid of facing God's wrath and sending not only myself but my family to hell. Eventually, though, I put aside all those beliefs and just stayed true to myself. And you know, I've never looked back since. So that's really all I have to say. I hope I've answered your questions, and if you really are planning to revert back to being an atheist, then all I can say is good luck, young Padawan. May the truth always be heard.